Okay, guys, I just got done watching Megan Thee Stallion versus Tory Lanez Five Shots documentary. It's a two-episode parter, and I'm not here to talk about who I think shot Megan. I don't really am not into the politics of it or who I believe is right or wrong or who did it. I just want to break down the two episodes that I just watched, and I 100% agree that Tori's episode was put together 100% way better than Megan's. I feel Megan's episode did a terrible job at representing her and her case to why she believes Tori shot her. I feel there was no evidence put in this, and it was all she's a hot star, she's a black woman, she felt unsafe with police, and it was like this, and this, and it was nothing to do with the case. Where his point of view of his story was evidence, 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 evidence. Can't believe he was found guilty. All this evidence, where hers was, how am I the victim? It was weird. This episode was not put together. This was all about the trial, all about the evidence. This was all about her and her rise to fame and how popular she is and the hate she got and people calling her a snitch. And she's like, they're taking shots at 50 Cent, and there's someone who got shot 9 times, and they're just taking shots at everyone who doesn't believe her for not believing her because she's a black woman. Um, I also feel the people that had interviewed in episode 2 was way more significant than the people in part 1. Like, there was a YouTuber and a journalist, and they talked about was her being a black woman, not about the trial per se as much as some of the other people in the second episode. The only person that had significant importance in this episode was the officer, who I believe was a detective. But I feel they had more people with evidence, more journalism, more people. They had lawyers. They had a lot more people interviewed in this. They had family remarks of the trial. I feel they did a better job with this episode, like 100 times better in this episode than this episode. And if I was Megan Thee Stallion, I never would have let this get released. I don't know if it's a mess up on her PR, if she really thought this would help her case. It does not help her at all. I feel this puts more pressure on her. Probably after people seeing this are going to say more comments of, you're a snitch and this, and oh, we're Team Tory. Like I said, this is none of my opinions. I'm not into all that. I'm fascinated by the case, so I watched the documentary. This are just my thoughts of how I felt. Each episode represented the case. As a representation, I feel episode 2 did a better at showing evidence and possibly of why the trial did it, and I just didn't like episode 1. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know. There's possibly gonna be a retrial, but I was just breaking down the film side of the documentary.